So picture this. You just ate a massive, like, 1,000-calorie lunch.
Oh, yeah, we have all been there.
Right. So why is your brain suddenly demanding a nap and, double shot of espresso at 2 in the afternoon?
It is completely wild when you actually stop and think about it.
I mean, think about that for a second. Biologically speaking, you are completely stuffed. You have given your body plenty of fuel.
Exactly.
Yet somehow your cells are acting like they are absolutely starving.
Yeah, it is one of the most frustrating paradoxes of modern life, honestly. I mean, we live in this world defined by absolute information and, well, calorie overload.
Oh, for sure.
But biologically speaking, we are fundamentally running on empty.
Yeah.
And I think most of us just accept this daily fatigue as, a normal part of being a busy adult.
I am personally guilty of the 3 p.m. vending machine walk of shame, just looking for, like, anything to keep my eyes open.
Right. You just need that quick hit.
Exactly. And that brings us to the core mission of today's deep dive. We are looking at some really fascinating excerpts from a text called Moringa Magic, Cultivating Natural Vitality Through Plant-Based Nutrition.
It is a great read.
It really is. So our goal today is to explore the fundamental disconnect between feeling stimulated and actually having energy.
Which are two very different things.
Totally. We are also going to look at how a plant traditionally known as the miracle tree might actually offer a biological solution to this collective exhaustion we all feel.
Yeah, the science on it is super interesting.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because we really need to draw a hard line between the symptoms of being tired and the actual root causes that are just hidden inside ourselves.
Well, to do that, we have to move past the automatic assumption that if you are tired, you just need more sleep.
Right. Because everyone always says, oh, just go to bed earlier.
Exactly. And while rest is obviously critical, I mean, it is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The text actually highlights a whole network of hidden contributors to low energy that just compound on each other.
Like what, specifically?
Well, you have chronic high stress levels, which basically tax your adrenal system continuously.
Wow. Yeah.
Then there is a general lack of physical activity for most people, which slows down your metabolic rate. There is dehydration, which is huge.
Oh, I never drink enough water.
Most people don't. And something as simple as like a 5% drop in hydration significantly impacts how energetic your brain feels.
The source material also puts a heavy emphasis on digestion, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you usually don't link your stomach to your brain fog.
No, people rarely make that connection.
But if your digestive system is compromised,
Yeah.
maybe by that chronic stress you just mentioned, which redirects blood flow away from the gut, your body might not actually be absorbing the nutrients you are swallowing.
That is a massive factor. I mean, you can eat the healthiest meal in the world, but if your gut lining is inflamed, those nutrients just pass right through you.
That is so frustrating.
It really is. And crucially, this ties into the biggest issue the text identifies, which is our incredibly poor modern dietary habits.
Right. The quality of the food itself.
Yeah. We are dealing with a food supply that is vastly different from what our grandparents ate. Due to modern industrial farming and, soil depletion, the produce we eat today often has a fraction of the nutritional value it had 50 years ago.
Right. Okay. So if I am eating like 2,500 calories a day, how is it biologically possible that my cells are still starving?
It sounds totally backwards, doesn't it?
It sounds a bit like a marketing gimmick to sell vitamins, honestly. I mean, if I eat a massive sandwich and a bag of chips, I just gave my body a ton of energy, didn't I?
What's fascinating here is that the biological reality completely contradicts that assumption. Yeah, think of your body like a massive construction site. The calories you consume, the carbohydrates, the fats, the sugars from that sandwich and chips, those are just the bricks.
Okay, I'm following. Bricks.
But our modern, highly processed diet completely lacks the mortar, which are the micronutrients. So you can dump 10,000 bricks on the lot, but without the mortar, the vitamins, the minerals, and the enzymes, your energy house is just going to collapse.
Wow. So what does this all mean for my 2 p.m. crash then?
It means you are experiencing a state of being completely overfed but severely undernourished.
Overfed but undernourished. That hits hard.
Right. A person can sleep a full 8 hours, consume a full day's worth of heavy calories, and still be totally depleted of the essential vitamins and minerals the body actually uses to run its internal engine.
And because eating all those empty processed calories doesn't actually make us feel alive, we naturally reach for the quick fix. We grab the coffee, the energy drink, the soda. So if my third cup of coffee isn't giving me any actual nutrients, What is it actually doing to my brain to make me feel so wired?
Well, it is tricking your nervous system, plain and simple.
Just a trick.
Pretty much. Caffeine and energy drinks work through stimulation. They block the receptors in your brain that tell you you're tired, and they trigger a release of adrenaline.
So it's basically a chemical alarm bell.
Exactly. They jolt-start the nervous system to artificially increase alertness. But they do not provide a single energy-producing nutrient. You are just forcing a depleted engine to rev harder.
Man, that sounds exhausting for the body. But true, natural vitality works entirely differently.
Oh, completely.
Because the text makes a huge point about cellular energy.
Yes. True energy happens on a microscopic level inside your cells, specifically in the mitochondria, which are the little power plants of your cells.
The powerhouse of the cell. Everyone remembers that from high school biology.
Right, exactly. And they are constantly working to convert the glucose from your food into a usable form of energy called ATP.
Okay.
But this biological assembly line depends heavily on very specific nutritional building blocks.
Right. And the text explicitly lists the required roster for normal energy metabolism.
Yeah, it's a very specific list.
We need iron, magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin A, potassium, calcium, B vitamins, and antioxidants.
Yep.
Without those, the cellular assembly line just shuts down.
It grinds to an absolute halt. Let's look at magnesium, for example. It acts as the literal biological spark plug for your cells.
A spark plug, I like that.
Yeah, without adequate magnesium, your mitochondria physically cannot synthesize that ATP energy currency no matter how much sugar you eat.
Yeah.
And iron is required to carry oxygen to those cells. B vitamins act as the workers that extract the energy from your food.
Here's where it gets really interesting, I think, because if you don't have those spark plugs and workers, but you drink an energy drink anyway, what actually happens?
Well, relying on stimulants when you lack those nutrients is essentially like putting your energy on a high-interest credit card.
Oh, that is a great analogy.
Right. You get the immediate cash flow right now to stay awake for your afternoon meeting, but you haven't actually deposited any real funds into your cellular bank account.
You're just racking up debt.
Exactly. You were just borrowing against tomorrow's energy reserves. When the stimulant wears off, the debt comes due, and your cells are even more depleted than before.
Which explains why the crash feels so terrible.
Yes. That makes the inevitable afternoon crash a biological certainty, not just a matter of bad luck.
Okay, so we need to cut up the high-interest credit card, and we need to start depositing real funds into our cellular bank accounts.
Precisely.
But let's be honest about modern lifestyles for a second. Eating perfectly balanced, farm-to-table, nutrient-dense whole foods 3 times a day is, like, virtually impossible for most people juggling work, families, and just life.
Oh, it is a massive hurdle. Even with the best intentions, consistently consuming enough diverse vegetables, dark leafy greens, and unrefined foods every single day is a huge challenge.
Especially with those soil depletion issues we mentioned earlier.
Exactly. And this is exactly where the concept of strategic plant-based nutrition enters the picture, specifically the plant focused on in our source material.
Enter the miracle tree.
Yes. Also known as moringa.
Okay, so what exactly is moringa?
Well, it is a highly resilient plant that has been utilized for centuries in traditional wellness practices across parts of Asia and Africa.
The text notes it usually grows in pretty harsh subtropical and arid climates.
It does.
Which actually plays a role in why it's so good for us, doesn't it?
That is a crucial part of its biology, actually. When a plant has to survive in a harsh, unforgiving environment, it develops robust survival mechanisms.
Like it toughens up.
Yeah. It packs its leaves with intense concentrations of defense compounds and nutrients just to stay alive. When we consume those leaves, we are essentially absorbing that biological resilience.
That is amazing. And the nutritional profile of moringa leaves is just staggering.
It really is.
The text lists vitamins, minerals, plant antioxidants, essential amino acids, and natural phytonutrients.
Yep, it's a powerhouse.
But I want to pause on that last word because we hear phytonutrients thrown around a lot in health marketing.
Yeah.
What actually are they?
Well, phyto simply means plant. So phytonutrients are the natural chemicals plants produce to protect themselves from, germs, fungi, and harsh sun.
Okay, so it's their armor.
Exactly. They are the plant's immune system.
Yeah.
When human beings consume them, they don't just act as basic fuel, they act more like software updates for our own immune and metabolic systems.
Software updates, I love that.
Yeah, they literally tell our cells how to function more efficiently and resist damage.
That makes a lot of sense. But I still have a fundamental question about the delivery system here.
Sure, go ahead.
Why can't I just take a standard, cheap multivitamin from the pharmacy?
Ah, the classic question.
Right. Like, what makes a whole food source like Moringa fundamentally different from a lab-made pill? If a pill has vitamin C in it, and a moringa leaf has vitamin C in it, isn't my body seeing the exact same thing?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at a concept called the entourage effect.
The entourage effect. Okay.
In nature, nutrients never exist in isolation. They exist as a complex, synergistic team.
Because they travel together.
Exactly. For example, when you get vitamin C from a whole food source, like a leaf or an orange, it is naturally bound to bioflavonoids and other compounds that tell your body exactly how to absorb and utilize it.
So they're basically packaged with their own instruction manuals.
Exactly that. A synthetic multivitamin, on the other hand, often contains isolated chemicals synthesized in a lab-like isolated ascorbic acid instead of whole vitamin C.
And the body doesn't know what to do with it.
Often, no. Your body doesn't recognize these isolated chemicals efficiently. It might absorb a tiny fraction and just flush the rest out.
What a waste.
It is. A whole food source provides a broad, recognizable matrix of nutrients that your digestive system knows exactly how to break down and deploy.
Which brings us directly to the specific product mentioned in our text, which is Moringa Magic.
Right.
The source describes this as a natural wellness supplement made directly from these nutrient-rich moringa leaves.
Yes, and it's designed specifically to bridge those modern nutritional gaps we've been talking about.
No artificial ingredients, no stimulants, just the whole food plant matrix.
The goal of this kind of supplementation is to provide your mitochondria with the literal raw materials, the magnesium, the iron, the B vitamins that they need to synthesize natural ATP energy.
Okay, so we have to address the giant elephant in the room here.
Let's hear it.
If I start taking Moringa Magic, can it replace my morning coffee? Like, will I take a scoop and suddenly feel wired enough to run through a brick wall?
The straightforward answer from the text is no, and honestly, you shouldn't want it to.
Because it's not a stimulant.
Exactly. They operate on two entirely different biological pathways. Coffee is a nervous system stimulant. Moringa is foundational nutritional support.
Got it. But the text also heavily emphasizes that Moringa does more than just feed the cells. It actively protects them.
Yes.
It focuses intensely on the battle against oxidative stress.
This is perhaps its most vital function, really. Every day, your body is exposed to environmental stressors, pollution, ultra-processed foods, UV rays, even psychological stress.
This is everyday life stuff.
Yeah. And these stressors produce molecules in your body called free radicals.
Okay, free radicals are essentially unstable molecules missing an electron, right?
You got it.
So they bounce around your system, stealing electrons from your healthy cells, which causes damage. It's basically cellular rust.
That is a perfect way to visualize it. You are rusting from the inside out, and that cumulative damage is oxidative stress.
Which sounds terrible for our energy.
It is a massive drain on your daily energy levels, and it's actually a major contributor to aging. But here's the good news. Moringa naturally contains incredibly high levels of antioxidants.
And antioxidants fight the rust.
Yes. Antioxidants are molecules that generously donate an electron to those unstable free radicals, neutralizing them before they can damage your healthy cells.
Okay, but if it doesn't give me that sudden, massive burst of energy and I'm just stopping microscopic rust, how do I even know it's working?
It can be subtle at first.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we're replacing a fire hose with a leaky faucet.
Well, think of it less like a leaky faucet and more like a slow drip irrigation system nourishing a garden over the course of a season.
Okay, I can picture that.
If you blast dry soil with a fire hose for 10 seconds, the water just runs off the surface, right?
Well, it doesn't soak in at all.
That is your energy drink. But a slow drip irrigation system allows the water to deeply penetrate the soil, establishing strong roots. Over time, the garden thrives.
So the goal isn't the spike. The goal is elevating the baseline.
Precisely. The text notes that when the body receives adequate, broad-spectrum nutrition consistently, users rarely report a sudden jolt.
Because their nervous system isn't panicking.
Right. Instead, they report a profound sense of feeling balanced. They wake up feeling rested, they don't experience that drastic 2 p.m. plunge, and they feel generally equipped to handle their day.
You aren't chasing the spike. You are eliminating the crash.
Exactly.
Which naturally leads us into the holistic reality check of this entire deep dive. Because if Moringa acts as this slow drip nourishment, it absolutely cannot exist in a vacuum.
No, definitely not.
We have to look at the broader wellness context.
We do, because it is a whole food plant source. Its benefits extend beyond just energy metabolism.
What else does the text say it helps with?
Well, it points out that the dense nutritional profile of moringa may support digestive wellness, bolster the immune system through those phytonutrients we discussed, promote healthy aging by combating oxidative stress, and just support overall general vitality.
That sounds amazing, but I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Go for it.
Let's be brutally honest about how people treat supplements. You cannot just swallow some Moringa Magic to out-supplement a lifestyle of, like, daily fast food, chronic dehydration, and sleeping 4 hours a night.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. It's a complement to your health, not a magical eraser for your terrible habits.
This raises an important question about our modern approach to health, actually. We are deeply conditioned to seek out silver bullets.
We want the quick fix.
Right. We want a pill that will magically undo a weekend of terrible choices. But the text is very firm on this. No supplement, no matter how nutrient-dense, can replace a foundational, healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, the source insists that products like Moringa Magic must be combined with good choices.
It's a non-negotiable.
It explicitly lists regular physical activity to keep the metabolism moving, adequate daily hydration, consistent and high-quality sleep, actual stress management practices, and a diet that at least attempts to incorporate whole food meals with fruits and vegetables.
It is about creating an environment where the supplement can actually do its job.
Right, giving it a fighting chance.
Plant-based nutrition is designed to fill in the unavoidable gaps that exist even in a good diet, primarily due to the modern food supply issues we discussed. But you have to build the house first.
And we absolutely must include the safety check outlined in the source, too.
Yes, very important.
Because while moringa has been safely consumed as a staple food for generations in many cultures, concentrated supplements are, a different category.
They are, and bioindividuality really matters here.
What does the text advise?
Well, if you are pregnant, if you are breastfeeding, if you are currently taking prescription medications, or if you are managing a pre-existing medical condition, the text strongly advises consulting a qualified healthcare professional before adding any new botanical supplement to your routine.
Because herbs can interact with things.
Exactly. Plant compounds can interact with medications, so professional guidance is always the first step.
It really all comes back to treating your body with a bit of respect, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Giving it the raw materials it needs to actually do its job, rather than just whipping a tired horse and demanding it run faster.
It requires a fundamental shift in perspective. You are moving away from short-term borrowing via stimulants and moving toward long-term investing in your cellular health.
So, to distill the core takeaway from all the science and sources we've unpacked today, feeling tired all the time isn't necessarily a sign that you need more caffeine or, more stimulation.
Yep, usually not.
In most cases, it is a literal biological distress signal from your mitochondria. They're begging for better nutrition.
They just need the right tools.
Right. Plant-based, whole food options like the Moringa Magic detailed in our text offer a way to step off that exhausting stimulant roller coaster and finally nourish your body from the inside out.
You are finally providing the mortar for the bricks.
Exactly. So tomorrow, when 2 p.m. rolls around and you feel that familiar heavy slump creeping into your brain, we want you to pause.
Just for a second.
Yeah, ask yourself a question. Before you grab that next energy drink or a cup of coffee, ask yourself, am I looking for a temporary jolt? Or are my cells actually just malnourished of the good stuff?
Are you addressing the root cause, or are you just slapping tape over the warning light?
That is the perfect way to put it. And we want to leave you with one final thought to mull over today, something that builds on everything we've discussed.
It's a big one.
If our modern society is incredibly overfed in terms of pure, empty calories, but severely undernourished in terms of the actual usable nutrients our cells need. If you think about it, how many of our daily struggles, beyond just feeling sleepy, think about brain fog, mood swings, or even slow recovery, how many of those are simply our bodies desperately asking for the right biological building blocks?
It really makes you wonder.
It really makes you wonder what else might naturally fix itself if we just gave ourselves the tools they've been asking for all along.